Destination Mark.
Oh, oh my god. Okay. Smash Brothers Ultimate. Hey guys, how's it going? Marcelo here. Jesus. Okay. Let's just get right into it. We're just gonna jump straight in. Super Smash Brothers Ultimate. Okay, first and foremost, fucking badass name. I love it. It's not for fucking the Nintendo Switch or anything like that. It's proper name, and it really captures what this game is all about. It's the ultimate Smash Brothers of Ultimate history. There are so many fighters in this. That's the first thing. That's not the first thing. The first thing are graphics. The graphics are just as good as Smash 4. So like, one of the biggest things I can say about Smash 4 is that it looked clean and it looked really detailed and nice. For it being Wii U, like, it looked good. So like visually, there was just so much there to look at. And same thing can be applied to this one as well. There's just a whole lot. You can tell it seems to run on the same engine. It seems to reuse a lot of the same kind of stuff for the most part, in terms of just being very similar in style to the last game. But yeah, fuck that. Characters. Jesus Christ. So many characters. Literally everyone is back. Returning here. Tweaked and changed. We'll get into that in a minute. Everyone. Like, literally everyone who has ever been in Smash Brothers, from the first one to now, or the last one, is back. Along with two other characters we'll get into. You already know who they are, but, I mean, oh my god. So, that threw me for a loop, because I was just like, I didn't expect that. No, I don't think anyone did. So, it definitely came as a shock, and it's really cool. So, with that being said, no one can really complain about so-and-so's not here, they should have brought so-and-so back, or they should have taken so-and-so out. But, like, I don't even care anymore about that. Like, no one has to bitch and complain, because if you liked her, cool, you can still play as her. If you liked Wolf and wanted him back since Brawl, here he is. If you liked Pichu since Melee and was sad that he didn't come back from the last two, here he is. Like, there is someone for everyone. Good luck finding a main, because or you can have tons of them. Literally 60 plus characters, almost 70. They're pulling like a Tekken Tag 2 in terms of nostalgia. Everyone is here, and it's fucking cool. So that's awesome. And speaking of characters, I am glad that Sakurai addressed the clones. They are now called Echo Fighters, and they're changing them up. They're still based off of the base characters like Lucina for Marth, Dark Pit for Pit, but they're changing them up enough to where they still have those base moves and whatnot, but they are going to be executed differently, and things about them will be very much different than from how they started in the games where they were introduced as so-and-so's clone. The one thing I want to say real quick though about that is that I'm surprised they didn't consider Dr. Mario Mario's Echo Fighter and Pichu Pikachu's Echo Fighter. Or even, I know that they're vastly different, but Young Link's back, so him and Toon Link still have a lot of moves based off of regular old Link. So how come they're not his Echo Fighters or whatever? I don't know. I mean, again, it seems that Echo Fighters are very similar to their base characters, but have different moves here and there altogether, or even those that are the same are executed slightly differently. But yet, Lucina and Dark Pit were the only ones Sakurai confirmed were Echo characters. So maybe they'll go back and say, yeah, Dr. Mario's one and Pichu's one. I'm just wondering why they didn't off the bat. But that being said, Daisy's in this now. She's Peach's Echo Fighter, so that's cool. Seeing as Mario still has the Wario palette swap for a costume, and Wario's been in Smash since Brawl, I'm wondering if they're going to keep Peach's, I haven't seen it, it probably is still there, but I'm wondering if Peach will still have her Daisy palette swap while Daisy's now in the game. So that was a surprise. I was not expecting that whatsoever, so that's awesome. But yeah, finally, I should have said this off the bat. You can tell I'm hyped. I'm so hyped for this one. They're doing it right. And I've got another video. This is part 1. Did you see down below? This is part 1. This is just off of the direct alone, and then part 2 is about what this has done so far to meet my hopes from that top 5 hopes down below. Link down below. The top 5 hopes video I did for this game. I had my hopes, I had my like, I wonder if they're going to change this. do this, fix this. We'll get into that in part 2. So, Echo Fighters, they address clones. Fucking thank you. There's that. And they also fixed the way certain characters looked from the last game. So, I don't know why they went ahead and changed his face, but Ganon looked really weird. Here's a comparison from what he looked like in Brawl to Wii U. I know they went for the Twilight Princess look, which I have no problem with. He looks really cool, but he looks cool in Brawl. From the facial structure, it looks nice. Wii U, I don't know, I can't pin what they did to his face, but it looked weird. It's a nitpick, I'm aware, but it was weird. Now we've got Melee Ganon back, Ocarina of Time Ganon for Ultimate, so that's awesome. I mean, I thought they were going to go back to his facial structure of Brawl and keep the Twilight Princess look, but they're just going straight up Ocarina again, so that's amazing. Wii Fit Trainer, do I have to keep showing pictures? I'll do it, fuck it. There's a direct comparison in the direct comparison. Her face has changed too, for the better. Not that it looked completely awful like Ganon's, but, right here. It's fine, so that's cool. Who else do I have on this list? Oh, fuck. Ridley, oh my god, yeah. So, okay, yeah, surprise, spoilers, fuck you, Ridley's in the game, the playable character. Everyone wanted him from the last one, so, Inkling as well, as you all know. So, I'll talk about Inkling later, because I actually got to play as her. I did play as Ridley too, and he was awesome, but looks, we're talking about looks, they changed up his looks, and he looks way more fucking badass and, like, threatening as a character here. It's crazy, man, like, I don't know why they... Again, for the last one, I don't know what I can't pinpoint it, how and what way that he looked weird. He just looked off, like off model. And Meta Ridley barely looked any different at all, and you can see that there's clearly this form of Ridley right here, which is clearly Meta Ridley, and there's a difference. So like, whatever they did to him in the last one, they fixed it for this one, and that's awesome. They fixed who needed to be fixed, whether it was visually or moveset wise, which we'll get into later. Thank you! This is what I wanted! There we go. Yeah, the little details, the little fucking intricacies make this game just... Oh my god. So I've got a list here, we have to go over this. There's slow-mo moments now, kind of reminiscent of Little Mac's like uppercut special move that he has. So, but it happens with other characters' moves, and not even with the moves, like how they're executed, but like Tekken or something, like, or Soul Calibur 6 is also doing this, where if it's just an epic moment and there's choice moments where it goes into slow-mo, it's gonna go into slow-mo, and that's fucking awesome. It's just a little thing, but it makes the battle more hyped and like tense in a way, and it looks cool visually as well, so it's a little flair. That's awesome. The revamped sudden death, I was not expecting. I didn't see it in any gameplay or any trailers until I played it myself, and I managed to get into sudden death with someone. Oh my god, it like slowly zooms in, there's fire all over the border of the screen, and it's like way more intense, and I was intimidated. I was like, oh my god, what the fuck? Thankfully I got out of it in that match, and I came out on top, but like, it was cool, and it was like, oh my god, I wasn't expecting it to be so intense of a sudden death. Inklings, the ink for the Inklings, you can spray. When I first saw it, before realizing it was really part of the gameplay, I thought it was just a detail that the ink, when you shoot someone, it gets all over them and it stays on them for a while. Reason being is because it's a little detail that goes a long way. The more ink that's on your opponents, the more damage that can be dealt from any kind of attack afterwards. So that, from anyone, I'm assuming. So that's crazy. It's a little detail that actually has a big impact on the gameplay for a brief minute, but still, that's awesome. Olimar's cracked helmet, when you beat him up, his helmet cracks. It reminded me of the battle damage from Brawl that was supposed to be in that game, that was cut. So it made me think, well, if he's got battle damage, do you think later down the line they'll implement battle damage on other characters? Scuff marks on Samus's armor, that scar-looking crack on Meta Knight's helmet, like stuff like that. Seeing Captain Falcon's eye through his helmet, like stuff like that. I'm wondering if helmets, helmets seem to be the theme for battle damage. I wonder if something like that will be a theme with other characters as well, as it was meant to be from back in Brawl. Again, little detail doesn't really play anything up in the long run for the actual gameplay that the ink does for the Inklings, but it's still a nice detail to have. Seeing as other fighting games have it as well, and sometimes battle armor can fall off in other fighting games. So it's just a neat thing to consider, I guess. Just go all out with it, you know? Let me see, what else? A Pokemon trainer, being able to change up, you know, Charizard and Venusaur and all them on the fly, like, that's awesome. Ivysaur, sorry, not Venusaur. Changing, there's no, like, minute-long fucking, like, pause to load the next Pokemon in. It's faster. That's cool. Ice Climber's coming back because I guess the Wii U couldn't handle it for some reason for 8-player Smash or whatever, but they're gonna find a way to do it here, and they are finding a way, and they're here. That's awesome. So let me see what else. The UI bits of the user interface, the HUD. It makes it easier for Final Fantasy with Cloud. His little limit break thing is on is near his icon. There's a gauge. Same thing with who do I have here? The Fire Emblem characters. There's little gauges and stuff. With Shulk, you can now, instead of having to, I think, wait for it to be random for the little thing he's got for his style or whatever, you can choose it now, and you can choose fast and choose on the fly. So for people who use Shulk, there you go. Villager gets a little indicator for the stuff you pocket, the items you pocket, so you can actually see what you've got. So stuff like that, it helps, and it's cool, and it makes it more efficient to use those kinds of characters. You can use them faster and use them with more of a strategy and more knowledge of what you've got, like again for Villager and stuff like that. It's cool. I'm gonna read word for word what I wrote here, that all the characters, all veterans, everyone, all these characters tweaks, small tweaks mind you and stuff, these details are small and intricate, yet most of them, like the ink and whatnot, go a long way to change up how these characters are played now. Like I was just saying earlier, you can use characters more fast now, more swiftly, more efficiently, with more knowledge of what they've got pocketed or keeping within them that you didn't really know or had to remember in the past games. So it's awesome. That's cool. Hella fucking cool. Okay, so for Inkling and Ridley, the two new characters right now that you can play as, that we played as at E3, I'll speak about how they felt. And basically, they both felt really good at control. That's it, for the most part. I mean, Ridley has his flapping, if you've seen gameplay of him, when you can jump multiple times like Kirby and Jigglypuff and Meta Knight. There's a bunch more, and a bunch more characters have that now. It started off with just Kirby, then it was Kirby and Jigglypuff. Actually, Jigglypuff was in 64, so both of them, and now multiple characters with wings or whatever can flap multiple times and get more than just a double jump and whatnot, so there's that. He's very strong. He's not too big. If you think that even in the gameplay he looks pretty big, even though they had to scale him down to make him work as a character, as a playable character, it doesn't feel... He's about as big as Bowser, maybe a tad bigger. So he's still like the biggest character in the game, but when comparing him with Bowser or DK, who are basically the ones that would be the biggest when he's not there, it's still fair, you know, so like you can still grab him and stuff. It doesn't feel weird to have him be like this big character, because while he's still pretty much the biggest, not by much, in a sizable, fair manner. So there's that. He doesn't feel particularly slippery or weird to control in any kind of way. Okay, the game controls a lot like the last one. So, and we play with the Pro controllers, so if you feel like it's going to be a bit different in terms of the handling for characters and whatnot, for this just being a new installment, don't worry. If you've played Smash 4, you've played this essentially. It's a lot of the same stuff. Like I'm saying, down to the art style and whatnot being very similar, they directly represented Mobus's freaking voice lines for the most part for existing characters and stuff and whatnot. Here with these two characters, they feel nice to control. Inkling is really cool. I was wondering how they were going to make it work with how the ink system works, like them shooting ink, and would they have some kind of a meter or gauge or something? And they do. You can see it on their icon or near their icon on the bottom of the screen, and you can actually guard and I think hit down or hit B or something, and they'll go down into ink and refill their ink. So their ink is compatible with like their moveset and whatnot. So you want to have that small detail being covering enemies with ink. That is a thing you're gonna want to have. You want to do that to your opponents. It's because you can still attack them and stuff when you have no ink. It's just not as effective as when you do. So you're gonna want to make sure that you're always inked up and always recharging. It's a lot like Splatoon. They actually managed to get Splatoon's mechanics in there and have it work with Smash Bros. Mechanics. It's so clever. It's so... I can't believe Sakurai pulled this off. It's amazing. So there's that. Thank you for changing a good majority of people's Final Smashes. I wanted this in the last game. Had to wait a game. Now, even though some characters like Mario, Kirby, some veterans, because again, this game is mostly veterans, so some characters still have the same Final Smash. Maybe, I haven't noticed a whole lot of characters, similar Final Smashes, having differences, but I'm pretty sure all of the similar Final Smashes from the last game will still have something different about them. It's going to be different for everyone for how these differences will occur and whatnot with their Final Smashes, but for the most part, nearly everyone. Wario Man's is different, Little Max is executed differently, DK's is completely different, Pikachu's has the same functionality, but just a different type of execution. Same thing with Sonic. I haven't seen Yoshi's yet or anything like that. I'm trying to think of who else. Link's is different, seeing as he's almost a completely different, incarnation. Again, he is, for the most part. Lots of different moves for him. But to the point, Final Smashes feel different, feel revamped, feel fresh, feel new. Or if they're not new all the way through, they feel different for the most part. There have to be at least some little differences, and even the most similar of Final Smashes from the last game. So it's changed up, and that's something else I wanted. So that is so cool. And also, they move a lot faster. The cutscenes are still impressive and crazy and bombastic, but they move a bit more quicker now to keep the pace of the gameplay going. And those who transform, and like Wario Man, like Little Mac, like Giga Bowser, and previously you could just control them around like you could a normal character and just beat people up. This time, you don't do that. Now they have their own, like, Bowser. It's inspired by Mario World. He's, Mario World 2 rather. The stage is right here. He's monstrous all up in the background. You can just slam right into them. That's awesome. So they found ways to make certain characters like that different. Even the ones that were transformation Final Smashes, you don't control them anymore to some degree. But it's still really cool. So I mean, it's just so creative, and it's an A+ in my book. So there you go. This one's a small point, but returning assist trophies and even the new ones and levels and stages and all that stuff. Awesome. Weapons as well. I think that's a whole other point on the list, but I can kind of group them together. Like, okay, items, healing zones, that's a new theme, and that's really cool. Black holes where you can just stay in the center no matter how far out you kind of, when you get hit by someone while in a black hole, you kind of launch but then come right back to the center, so it kind of like tethers you there, so you're kind of stuck there. Fake smash balls, oh my god, I encountered one in one of the matches I played. That's crazy. It's a very, very dick move, I guess, but it's, whatever. So there's that. But Bomberman's an assist trophy. People want him as a playable character. Rip the dream, but hey, he's in the game somehow, some way. You can KO certain assist trophies now as well, and you get points for it if you're doing like the tie-in matches and whatnot. So that's cool. Again, nice little touch. Stages, oh my god, they're bringing so many stages back from Brawl and Melee and 64. That's super cool. Congo Jungle, and they even had a comparison for the lighting again and whatnot, and the detail. So detailed, so awesome. I'm saying whatnot a lot, I'm sorry about that, I realize it. But there's, this comparison is so cool. And Four Sides apparently back, Princess Peach's Castle from Melee, Yoshi's Stage from N64, Magic Can, a lot of levels like the Spirit Train and everything from and the Mario 3D Land level. All the 3DS stages are coming into this one now. Like, there's just so much they're pulling from, and for the nostalgia of way back in the day for Melee, 64, and Brawl, a lot of that stuff's coming back now. It's cool. There's a lot. So yeah. And to end off, there are two interesting pieces of gameplay that they added in here that I feel are going to be very interesting when we find out more about modes and stuff. We haven't heard about modes. I still want a story mode. So that I'll save for the next video for part 2. But for here, let's talk about the accurate percentages, like damage percentages with the decimals and such, and the minimap showing the kill line and how off screen you actually are. So those are two interesting additions to the game, seeing as... And I think you can still have it to where, like, when you go off screen, you see your little icon in the bubble and whatnot. There it is again, whatnot, sorry. But, like, you can see the character in the bubble when you go off screen. But when you do, up in the... Which way is it? Right corner? For you, I guess, right corner. There is the mini-map. And it just shows, like, little diamonds or dots representing your color and whatever. So you can see which one you are by your color. And... you can see how close you are to the kill line once you've passed the out of bounds part, the off-camera part. So that's really cool. You can find a way to save yourself and make a comeback, or yet your opponents can see where you are, try and find some way to launch themselves off the screen and still see where they are to try and get you to touch that kill screen, that kill line. So that's interesting. That's going to keep the gameplay very, very frantic, and it's just cool to see that, again, it's another piece of detail there that was never needed from the other 4 Smash games, but it's here now, and it's cool. It's a welcomed addition, so it will affect the gameplay in certain areas, especially in tournaments and such. I'm pretty sure it was in the Invitational. I'm not sure if it's a function you can turn on or off. I would assume so, but from everything we've done so far with the 3 matches I played for all 3 days and for the Invitational, it's been on. So there's that, and I feel like there might be a whole mode, like fighting gameplay mode, where not like a whole... How am I gonna try and describe this one? When you go into like a versus match and you've got your like stock, your timed, that kind of mode, that's what I'm talking about. Not like some kind of off Smash party, fucking whatever from Smash 4 board game ass, not that kind of mode. I'm talking about like an actual versus mode. There could be something like that they might be able to put in where the decimals come into play, because why else would they have the decimal points? So instead of just having like 70%, 90%, 23% damage, now you can get accurate percentages like 23.9, 56.7, like there's points and stuff now. So I mean, I'm wondering why they put that in, if not to have some kind of a mode maybe or something based around it. Not too sure, but it's interesting indeed. It's something that they didn't touch on at all really, or bring up in any capacity, but I'm wondering if something's going to happen with it somewhere, some way along the line, down the line, so it's worth bringing up. But that's about it. What do you guys think of all of this? Oh my god, this is it. I haven't been this hyped for Smash since Brawl, and Brawl was an experience for me because it's my favorite game still from the Smash series, and even though Melee was the first I ever played, and I'm getting that feeling again with this one, and it was completely lost on me in the last one, all things considered, but this one is improving. The name of the game here, if not Ultimate, is improvement. There's so much they're tweaking for the better, fixing from fan demand because they felt it was necessary. There's just so much. That's why it's called Ultimate, because it's packed. It's the most packed Smash that we've ever had, and there's still more to come. There's more amiibos, modes. Like I said, we haven't seen anything, heard anything about modes. I'm still hoping there's a story mode. How are you gonna fit 60 plus characters? Or you don't have to fit all those characters in the story mode unless there's a way they end up doing it. I don't know, man. I don't know, but I'm so hyped, and the game was so fun. It felt invigorating to play. It was fun. I don't know, man. It was cool. So what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. Are you hyped? December 7th is coming out, so I'm gonna pre-order that shit really soon. Yeah, I'm Marcelo. See you guys later. Take care.